What's up everyone, this is Dracovan coming at you with an updated Blue Eyes Primite profile with a brand new package I've thrown into the deck. It's not exactly new, and if you've seen the thumbnail you already know what this is by now, but quick update. I've had more success with this build, so I'd really encourage people to try this out. So please, before we start, make a comment what you like about, what you dislike, what you want to critique about the video. Please subscribe if you find this video helpful, and then yeah, we'll get started. And then finally, before we start, I will get to the Chaos Max build. I've just been focusing on this and work has just been chaos because that's all I need to be doing nowadays, so I can't load videos consistently. But enough waffling, let's get on to the video. Okay, so fairly standard ratios. So we have 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon, unfortunately the brick, 3 Sage, so more or less the combo starter until you get into the Maiden. If you have Maiden in hand before Sage, then you can just go from there. But this is self-explanatory. I don't think we need to talk about this any further. We've seen this in plenty of other videos. Primite Ether Barrel, MVP, best card of the deck. You know, this card is insane. I love it. Really looking forward to the new Primite support. Don't know if it's going to be used, but still new cards, so something to get excited for. 1 Bestial Magnum, so basically gets into the Ether Barrel when we need to and stops the engravers or anything like that. And then finally for the Blue Eyes stuff, the Effect Veiler, round out all the monsters. So I am back and forth with it, but it is another negate at the end of the day, so you might as well run it. So that's the main cards now. Moving on to the hand traps now. So 3 Fluoros, 3 Ash, and 3 Droll. So I think it's very self-explanatory again, because Fluoros, not particularly good when you're going first, but fantastic to put pressure onto your board when you're going second. Probably the best one for Blue Eyes by a mile. Perilia, if we can get that one for future videos, that'll be pretty good. Ash Blossom to stop the opponent's Fluoros or any other pesky card that we need to go. But I think most importantly, everyone has their eyes on this card. Droll Notebird, we're very much into combo heavy once more, but Droll is fantastic. It's also a low-key bridge when it comes to Blue Eyes White Dragon. Gets into this Link monster because it's a spellcaster and can be Thompson, which is also pretty good if we have multiple. And then, of course, finally, round off hand traps, well, in monster-wise anyway. Nibiru, because you need to play this card. It should not be an excuse. Yeah, too many summons in one go. Moving on to my new addition to the deck. Fiendsmith Engraver, 1 Lacrima Tears, 1 Lurie, and 1 Fiendsmith Track. So it's very important why I emphasize this is a really good way to play Blue Eyes. Okay, you might not like Engraver, you might not like Fiendsmith in general, but you know what? It is what it is, right? But with this deck in particular, what I found in my play testing is that I either opened Primite or hand traps, or I've had terrible bricks. My theory was to incorporate this to lessen the bricks and put more pressure on my opponent, so I can get into either the XZs to stop the nib, or if I'm going second, I can use this to get into the fusion monster. But again, I think we all know what the cards do by now, so very self-explanatory. A really good engine. I would encourage people to play it. So moving on to spells now. Best package in a Blue Eyes deck, without a shadow of a doubt. 3 load, and then I have to run 2 drill beam. I understand people only play the 1. However, I like playing the second one because nobody expects it. And on top of that, it's just so valuable in a deck like this. All you have to do is just reveal a Primite card, so either be a load, barrel, or Blue Eyes White Dragon in the hand, and then you can target the card and negate its effects and banish it. So good. And on top of that, you know, if they do get rid of the one in the graveyard by a DV Crow, you have a spare. This is the reason why I play it, because having one of this and only using barrel to set another one of these just feels terrible. Yeah, but I digress. Fantastic engine. Would highly recommend playing this if you're not doing this for a while already. Moving on more to the bricks now. So 1 Mausoleum, 1 Raw, and then 1 Majesty, and then 2 Wishes of Ice Blue and True Light. So 4 bricks, 2 engine. I cut down to Wishes to 2 because at the end of the day, if you resolve it once, then you're more or less off to the races, because you're either searching this or this one, and this will either get you into this. So I felt it was very important to do that. 3 was just unnecessary. You could bump it to 3, it's just fine in the room. It's still 45 like the previous one, so I had to make a lot of cuts in the previous build, and I found this has been more versatile when it comes to the mid-range game. Definitely grinds forward, and there's another backup plan when it comes to Blue Eyes deck, because when it comes to Blue Eyes Primite, it can set up a fantastic, mid-range game, but you're solely dependent on the Primite engine to keep you going. So to have like the Fiendsmith package like I mentioned before is really good. So Mausoleum, done the blue, special the blue, pop with blue, search blue cards, Castle the Hill with the True Light. And then finally, ruin up some more hand traps now. 2 Dominus Purge and 2 Impermanence. So I up down to 2 just for consistency reasons. I do like it 3, but I do find at the same time that I just want to keep it more consistent. And from what I've read and heard through other sources on deck profiles, Impermanence does not feel that great of a card at the moment. So having 2 Dominus Purge does feel good. And even if I use it in the hand, it's all fine, because majority of my cards, apart from Ash Blossom and Bestial Magnet in the main deck, it's completely fine. I can live with that. So that, moving on to the main deck, moving on to the extra. So for the extra deck cards, I think it's fairly standard. 2 Eyes, 2 Blue, 2 Blue Eye Spirit Dragon and 1 Blue Eye Spirit Ultimate Dragon. Shout out to my boys way back in the day for hooking me up when the first cards came out back in Shining Victories. I'll never depart from these are amazing. So yeah, fantastic card. 1 negates, soft ones per turn if you have multiples in the graveyard. Tag outs gets into the big boy. Big boy is non-negate, and when this dies, you can bring back one of these. So really good for what it's worth. The card we never fusion into because we need 3 Blue Eye Dragons, unfortunately, but to substitute that, Blue Eyes Tyrant. Fantastic card. This card is just the best, and it's what keeps you going in the long run. And then finally, 2 Spirits with Eyes of Blue, and the Honourable Blue Eyes card, the Hieratic Seals of Heavenly Spheres. Only running 1 this time, because we have a massive chunk of cards in the extra deck to complement our new engine. So, very standard, don't need to tell me a lot, but Move Close Heaven, the gateway to get into the Fiendsmith cards. So Sequence, Requiem, Desiree, and then of course the Honourable Fiendsmith, Necroquit, Princess, and then High King Caesar. So like we mentioned before, get this to stop the nid play, get this on if we're going second. And then finally to round it off, the Typhon Skycrackers, really good card. You don't really see it as much, but when you are in die situations, it's more or less the backup plan. Moving on to the side decks. So I wanted to test a new card for Blue Eyes decks in particular, but then I realised after post testing there was something that I could have incorporated instead. So quick shout out, just Field Center and Carpet Tokens, get them out the way. So sideboard, Lancia, Malice, doesn't need explaining. Ghost Bell, solid argument to have in the main. I just feel Drill's better in my opinion. You can have this for games from game 3, against Mitsurugi and other graveyard shenanigans. Back row hay, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster, and 3 Solemn Judgment, because this will stop this, and this is just really good in general. Very strong card. And the card I really wanted to test was 3 Ultimate Slayer. Theory behind this was there's a lot of links, a lot of fusions, and there could be the potential mirror. It is very good because it stops monster effect activations, but cards we can dump in particular, we could dump Requiem in the graveyard, to bounce a Link monster. If you have the Fiendsmith engraver, then you can use the grave to equip it onto the monster. Doesn't special summon from the grave because that's not how it's. Yeah, you won't be special summon this because you've bypassed that illegally, but you can use engravers to shuffle it back and then you can get the combos going again that way. Or alternatively, the theory behind Ultimate Slayer was to use Desiree. You can send this Desiree to shuffle one other light fiend monster from your grave into deck, so you can shuffle this back if you want, and then you can target a card on the field and send it to the graveyard, so like it didn't get to effect if you will, but targeting. Unfortunately though, I didn't see it, but now I've learned, very importantly, that you really should be playing Fiendsmith in Paradise, because this basically does this much faster with Desiree. And yeah, that is more or less my updated profile. So moving forward, I will get down to the Chaos build for funsies. But yeah, thank you for your patience. And as always, this is Dracovan here, coming at you with a Blue Eyes Primite Fiendsmith deck profile. Hope you have a good day. Take care.